I'm Nadine from Colin Campbell Chemicals. I firstly want to apologise for not being there in person this year. My wife recently gave birth to our second child, and I've just been home for the last few weeks and the next couple of weeks as well. However, I would like to thank the VGCSA for allowing me to present this recording on our new fungicide that's coming onto the market this coming season. Thank you very much for that, guys. So, going to get straight into it here. So, I'll just flip over to our presentation. So Emerald Fungicide is a new generation of contact fungicide. Brand new active ingredient, brand new mode of action to the market. It's a 500 gram per litre fluazinam based active ingredient. It's an active ingredient that's been around quite a few number of years, but it's a very good broad spectrum, very strong contact fungicide. It's a unique mode of action. It's a group 29 fungicide, so it's quite a bit so different to anything else that's out there, but it still classifies as a contact and it's got a very low resistant risk there. Registration, we've applied for dollar spot, for hormone diseases, anthracnose and great leaf spot. As I said, it's not registered, it's expected soon within the next month or so, and we hope to have product available within the next couple of months, but obviously we won't be able to sell this product until it's fully registered. However, our distributors, Cambie Adams and Oasis, will keep you updated as we go along. Now, the features of Emerald. As I said, it is a multi-site mode of action, so resistance risk is very low because it does have that multiple properties that it works to attack the disease and prevents disease from coming up. The other feature of Emerald is that it actually binds to the plant very quickly, very different to a lot of other contact fungicides like Thiram or Mancozeb, where you pretty much put them on and they can wash off quite easily. Emerald's different, it binds to the plant very quickly. Once dry, it is rain fast, it does not wash off. Obviously, being in contact, it will grow out, so if you do get rapid growth, don't expect to get the full residual of it, but if there's not much growth around, you will get what we have on a label 14 days, and we actually have seen sometimes great efficacy of 21 days under lower pressure conditions. The other thing, we have seen quicker recovery than DMI fungicides. They're the group 3 fungicides like tridimenol, propiconazole, tebuconazole based products. So I'm going to show you a little bit of that, and also very low use rates for a contact fungicide. There's it's only 1 to 1.5 litres a hectare. We're only looking at 750 gram of active ingredient over the hectare, compared to something like TMTD where we're looking at 12 kilos a hectare of active ingredient. The other thing about it, being a contact fungicide, you can use it all year round, no problem. It's not temperature sensitive in any way, so if it's too cold, it'll still work. If it's too hot and the plant, your cool season grass starts to shut down, it'll still work. The other side of it, systemic fungicides are different. In the winter time, it's getting too cold for them and they won't be taken up for quite a while, so that especially like the DMI fungicides, they need an air temperature of about 10 degrees to work, so essentially they will work in the winter time, but it'll take a lot longer. The other side of it is when the plant starts to shut down, it can't take that systemic product up. Emerald, being a contact, put it on the leaf, it just stays there and it'll work straight away. However, the best results with Emerald is to spray when there's no dew present. So remove the dew first if you've got any, either with mowing or with dew brooms. Your systemic fungicides you can actually spray when there's dew around, that's no problem at all, but with Emerald and other contact fungicides, get rid of the dew. pH, keep it as close to neutral as possible. We always like a neutral pH of around 6. Emerald, it's actually in the US, it's been in the US for quite a few years. It's known as Secure over there, Secure fungicide. It's got a broader range of label over there than what we're going to have here in Australia, but we believe it's not as effective on some diseases as other products we have in our range and other products on the market that you currently use on brown patch, on rhizoctonia, also on fusarium, red thread and stem rust. Those last two diseases aren't really big issues here in Australia anyway. So, but just wanted to show you that there are other diseases it is used for overseas. So, how to apply? Well, this is our label that we've submitted. So we've got turf essentially stating anything to do with turf, except for home lawns. So if anyone here does spray home lawns, you won't be able to spray this legally on any type of home lawns. So, but sport amenities, golf courses, sports fields, racetracks, bowling greens, no problem. So as I said, there's the diseases we've been going for. There's a rate 1 to 1.5 litres a hectare. Apply preventative application 7 to 14 days apart. 400 to 800 litres of water. 400 litres is usually sufficient, no problem. Apply with coarse nozzles. However, high cut turf, that's where your 800 litres more comes in. So if you're going for more sports field tees, fairway height, roughs, those type of things. Obviously, I'd love to get this used on rough, but it's going to be a bit of a hard one. I imagine. All right, this is some trials that we have done with Emerald. This was on Dollar Spot. This was in Sydney, where Dollar Spot is a very, very aggressive disease and one that hangs around all year round. So this is one we did at 2 applications 14 days apart. You can see here all the untreated, in the blue, all the untreated there. Everything was pretty much stayed the same for the untreated throughout the whole trial period. You see the 1 litre rate versus 1.5 versus the standard fungicide, which we've got in all the trials. So here we have 1 litre at first application, 14 days after first application, then second application 14 days after that, so 28 days from the initial treatment. 1.5 litre rate, same, and standard same. The thing here I want you to notice is that after the first application, there was no significant difference between any of the trials, any of the treatments, sorry. However, after the second application, we saw a difference, a rate response with the 1 litre rate and the 1.5 litre rate of Emerald, showing that the 1.5 litre rate is better and significantly different than the 1 litre rate. So that's where the 1.5 litre rate will come in very, very handy. Still work at 1 litre rate, obviously, but you're going to get a better result at the 1.5 litre rate. In comparison to the standard fungicide, you get the same result, no statistically difference there. Anthracnose. Here it looks a little bit all over the shop, but again, the disease is quite consistently untreated throughout the whole time. You've got here Emerald 1 litre and 1.5 litre. There is no significant difference between the 1 and the 1.5 litre rate, and there's no significant difference between the standard product. The interesting thing here is that actually the standard product is a systemic product. So we're actually getting same result as a systemic fungicide for anthracnose control. So there's not much, really many active ingredients that do that. I know Medallion is very strong fluticasone on anthracnose, and this also gives another option as a contact. However, what I do suggest, being a contact fungicide, and you look here going, 1 application is not getting rid of the disease 100%. That's where 2 applications really needs to come in. Or tank mix it, look at tank mixing it for the first application with a systemic fungicide to get the ideal situation. But you got to remember, in these trials we are trying to start off with a high disease instance to get good results and test limitations of products. Helmo trial, essentially all the same. Untreated stayed all. Significant difference from the treated area. There was a reduction in disease as the time went on. However, you saw that big reduction straight up with all the treatments, whether it's a low rate of Emerald compared to the standard contacts or the systemics. Again, the systemic fungicide and Emerald and the contact fungicide, the standards, work just as well as a systemic product. So showing that is like, especially Helmo, fairly easy disease to control. Look at using your contact fungicides more so than possibly a systemic product, depending on the budgets and the products you do use. But it actually is quite interesting that this did perform just as well as a systemic product there. So as you can see here, and we did get rid of the disease very quickly. Grey leaf spot showed the same thing there again. This wasn't warm season grasses, all the other trials were on cool season grasses. So you do see here, however, there is a significant difference though between our standard fungicide after the second treatment compared to the 1 litre rate. But there's no difference between the Emerald 1 and 1.5 litre rate. So, and the 1.5 litre rate is no significant difference in comparison to the contact fungicide. So looking at grey leaf spot, 1.5 litres will work just as well as your standard fungicide there. Okay, this is a little bit of recovery work that we did do. I just want to emphasise here, this was not replicated trials in any way. Essentially, we just left a plot that was untreated on a green to show dollar spot. There was dollar spot across the whole rest of the course as well, but we just wanted to see how recovery goes. So this was Emerald on the day of treatment, quite a lot of dollar spot throughout the trial here. This course does have a history of dollar spot, especially on the shoulder seasons as we were doing the trial here. This was 8 days after treatment, so you do see that the dollar spot has stopped and recovery, we started to see recovery come through. 21 days after the treatment, we're fairly clean. There is some dollar spot there. Again, it's starting to flare up again. So, we've got claims on the label of 14 days as we've done the trials, but we're looking here that pressure increasing, the disease is going to come back. So we are still getting not 100% control, but it is still holding in one respect. However, we did leave it another day or so and we got the dollar spot come back in. However, you look at it compared to the initial day of treatment, it's a lot less than it is. So this is 1 day after the second treatment, not day, literally the day, the morning after. and this is 4 days after that second treatment. Dollar spot's pretty much all gone, a little bit there, a little bit there, but it's essentially gone. 13 days after, this is when we essentially finished the trial off, the pots were clean. Besides some bore marks, the pots were 100% clean of dollar spot there. But I want to reiterate, this was not replicated trial, but the aim was just to see how quick the recovery was in comparison how quick it closes up. And also the rest of the course was sprayed with the DMI active. We did see, and this was typical of the course, that there was no dollar spot present, however there was quite a bit of scarring still there. So the good advantage of Emerald is to see that we're not getting the scarring there in comparison to the DMI chemistry as well. So it does have that advantage over DMI chemistries, that we are going to get quicker recovery and less scarring. So that's the dollar spot work and the recovery trial. But we've also done a little bit of work on algae control. This is one that we are definitely going to go through with and get it registered. We're hoping our trials this season will be conclusive and be able to submit for that, to have it registered in the next 12 to 18 months after Emerald is registered. But just wanted to show you that we just trialled a little bit at the 1.5 litre rate. There's the initial lot of algae that quite rampant through that rink, and then that's 14 days afterwards. Cleaned it up quite nicely actually, so it went to give us confidence in going and doing full replicated work to get algae on the label. Alright, well that's about all the time I wanted to take up for everyone. So I hope you guys got something there about our new product Emerald. As I said, it is coming will be around September, October. Fingers crossed all goes well with ABVMA registration and getting everything done. But as I said, talk to our distributors, talk to KMB Adams, talk to the guys at Oasis. They'll keep you updated and the likes. In the meantime, if you do need to contact me, there's all my details there, my phone number, my direct number. Don't hesitate to give me a call, shoot me an email, contact me via Facebook, social media, through Twitter. More than happy to answer any questions. And lastly, there's just a few Facebook pages I want you guys to look at and sign up to if you haven't already. One obviously is ours, Colin Campbell Chemicals. Started this about 2 months ago realistically, so I'm going to be putting different updates and a few different bits and pieces throughout the years on it, with different things I attend, with different shows, different things actually happening at our warehouse, at the company. Also the other Facebook pages, there's Turf Life. Turf Life is a public Turf Australia page essentially. Great forum there, as in Turf Management Australia, for seeing what people are doing out there. They're posting what they're doing, asking questions, those type of things, starting a discussion. Turf Management Australia, very similar to Turf Life in what it wants to achieve. However, Turf Management Australia is a private Facebook page, so there's a lot more dedicated discussion from all professional turf managers, and you have to request to become on the page. You can't just join the page and comment. You actually have to be approved. So, but I do urge you guys to get out your phones in between the breaks, get onto Facebook and sign up for these 3 Facebook pages. As I said, I hope everyone has enjoyed the week so far. Hopefully everyone enjoys Ben's course there at Tokemore. I've seen the course, haven't played it, but it's a beautiful course that he's got. No doubt to be in great condition. And again, thank you to the VGCSA for allowing me to do this. Everyone have a safe trip home, and I'll definitely catch up